Should we move that?
Mr. Gaines,
Gary?
Like-
Where's? You get. Councilwoman Perone? Need you. Madam Clerk?
This meeting is called to order. It is 7 o'clock. Roll call. Councilman Anderson, he did say he would be a little late. Councilwoman Perone,
Present.
Councilwoman Worthy,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield,
Present.
and Mayor McIntosh.
Present.
We will now have our prayer by Reverend Lewis Cook, Associate Minister, Alpha Baptist Church. Good evening, sir. They will come up to the podium.
Right. Once again, dear Lord, we come as the Township Council of Willenboro, New Jersey, come before you. And we ask that you would just bless this session. Father, these council members have come together this evening, Lord, to do your work, do your bid. And Father, even as they come together and engage in this work, as far as managing the budget and those things that go on within this township, we pray that all will be successful and that you would just continue to be with them. And Lord God, we ask that you would grant Mayor McIntosh and the council members the wisdom, Lord, to discern what's going on and how they should carry on as far as the township is concerned. And in dealing with all of the things that they would need, Father, in management, Father. God, we just thank you. Father, when we look to everything that's going on, we just pray that Willenboro will indeed be the type of township that people want to come and live in, especially seniors and the elderly, Lord. And we thank you that they will come and do that bidding. We thank you that people will want to come and build a home and raise their families, and for school children to go and come safely, and for teachers to teach in ways that make learning easy, God. So we just thank you for them. And we thank you for those who've been invited to come out this evening to participate during this session. So Father, we pray that all will be blessed as a result, and not only that, to be informed as to what's going on within their community. Lord God, we just pray continuously, and we just thank you for all those who are assembled here this evening. And as the council members, as they continue to do the work, we pray that you guide them through all of the work they have to do, be it ordinances and budgets and resolution and all. Just bless them and guide them in their efforts as they do the work that they've been assigned to do. We thank you for their participation and all the other departments that work within the township, that they will cooperate in making sure that everything works fine according to township power. So Father, bless them, we pray. We thank you for everyone who is in attendance this evening, and ask that you would bless not only them, but their families and their homes as well. We pray this in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you so much, sir. Let's now stand for our flag salute, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting was provided in the following manner. Advanced written notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal complex and was mailed to the Burlington County Times, the Intelligencer, and the Courier Times. Advanced written notice of this meeting was filed with the township clerk. The clerk is directed to enter into the minutes of this meeting, this public announcement. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Well, welcome everyone, those who are in person and those who are online. Today, I did want to just get started. I know there's been a lot of talk about the trash. I just wanted to give an update to our resident with respect to Republic.
So unfortunately, Mayor, our trash vendor has been experiencing some operational difficulties. They have been having some problems with their trucks. I did not know that rats have an affinity to soy. And in conjunction with that, I guess parts of the equipment in the trucks or under the trucks are made of soy. And it was brought to my attention that I guess the weather is warming up and when they are getting their loads from Pennsylvania and taking them to their transfer station, there have been a lot of rats in the trash and they've been just gnawing away at their trucks, disabling their trucks. So that was kind of the problem that Republic has been experiencing. They are back up and operational and playing catch up. They were able to knock out Hawthorne today, Twin Hills, Millbrook, and they began in the Garfield section, but that was not completed. It was brought to my attention late that it was not completed, and they will work on that. So that is the issue with the trash. We suspect that it will be completely resolved by the next couple of days, and things will be back to normal. Once again, I encourage all the residents that just leave your trash out and it will be collected. Just a little bit late, but it will be collected. And I do know that some residents have been trying to call DPW and, report the situation, and we appreciate that. I just let everyone know, in case they are not aware, our DPW department does close at 3:00 in the afternoon. So if you're calling after 3, it will be very unlikely that you will get somebody to answer the phone. That is something that we are working on, as well as I understand the number. If you press the number 7, it's supposed to take you to a live person, but for some reason, it's just been defaulting to that this number is not available. So we're going to have our IT department look into that and fix that problem and make sure that problem doesn't exist anywhere else in our automatic phone system. So, once again, I apologize for the inconvenience, but I do thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. And I do want to just make sure that we did have great communication through the app and online, so I do appreciate that. But I just want to make sure if residents are calling, if they do get someone, that they are, giving a proper answer.
Yes.
Anything else on trash from council? Okay. Mr. Harris, you can move on.
Thank
to
you.
your
Thank
report.
you, Mayor. First, I just want to thank everyone for coming out to the JFK Center this evening to participate in the preview of our theater, which is out to bid for construction. We are very excited about moving this very lengthy process forward, and we are really encouraged seeing it through to fruition. We do have our engineer here from Pannoni, Hugh Doherty. Hugh, if you just want to stand up and maybe say just a few words to our public, please.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to mention this evening, we had the video loop playing of it's really a 3-dimensional model of what the Performing Arts Center will look like. And as Mr. Harris had mentioned, this has been a long process. In 2021, we looked at various iterations of what the Performing Arts Center will be. And then we gravitated away from something similar to this room here, which we already had, to more of a theater concept. And in September of 2022, we really honed in on the theater. And what you see on that video is really what we're anticipating the theater to look like. We have a state-of-the-art sound system, a very comfortable seating, which we had a sample of out there, and also a redone stage and lighting and sound system. So we're really looking forward to working with the township and getting the theater back online. We are out to bid right now, as Mr. Harris had mentioned, and we're going to accept bids in May. We'll start contract negotiations in June, and then by the end of the year, we should have significant progress on the Performing Arts Center. So that's a progress, and I'm really looking forward to it myself.
Thank you. Any questions from the governing body?
No, I just wanted also thank you, Mr. Hugh. But this, I hope people got a chance to look at it. But I did want to just say thank you to Councilwoman Dr. Worthy, as she's taken the lead from the council on this and has persevered over the years, making sure that this is coming to fruition. I just wanted to add that.
And we appreciate the guidance of Dr. Worthy as well. It's been very beneficial in our design process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hugh. I appreciate that. And the video will be available on our website and our social media platforms. For anyone who did not have the ability to see it, they'll be able to see it there. Thank you, Hugh. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Before I get into my report, Mayor, we do have a very slight presentation from Mitchell Humphrey, who was with us this evening. They're doing some very extensive work in our inspections department under the guidance of Mr. Dennis Tunstall, who will take it from here.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Deputy Mayor and Council. I have with me team from Mitchell Humphrey, which consists of Lisa, Matt and Nick. Almost had it right. Matt and Nick. They have been working very closely with my team to get FTG Fast Track Gov online and working efficiently. I believe Councilwoman Perone at one time wanted to get an idea of what the portal would look like. So Miss Lisa is here to demonstrate that portal. I believe it's gonna. So might have to see exactly what you want.
And on behalf of Mitchell Humphrey Software, thank you for having us out tonight. I'm Lisa Morlock, and I am actually the project manager for the Township of Williamsboro's project with Fast Track Gov. This is Beth Humphrey Watch, who's also a project manager at Mitchell Humphrey. So on the screen, we see the Williamsboro Township is a test environment for what we call the citizen portal, the public portal. So this is our Fast Track Gov website. The public of Williamsboro, I can't even talk, sorry, I'm all tongue tied, maybe I should just get that out. The public of Williamsboro Township will be able to apply for, pay online for, and also review status of their online applications of the construction UCC permits, zoning permits, rental registrations, resale COCs and COs, and that will all be done using our Fast Track Gov portal.
So essentially what this is going to be is an extension of your township website. So the link to this portal will be embedded in your website and will present with the website, the look and feel of your website. So that it looks like an extension of your website. It's providing these online services that people have come to expect during the age of COVID. You know, and as we emerge from this, we've all learned how to do things from home pretty well. So this is what this is providing to the public of Willingboro.
just scrolling down the screen real quick to show the different areas of the website. You see building and zoning on the left to apply for our construction permits. You can also search construction permits. You can request a construction inspection and apply for a zoning permit. I scroll down a little more. It's on the left side. We'll go to the right side. So the the public will be able to submit any property maintenance complaints. They'll also be able to apply for a property inspection, and that's for your resale inspections of a certificate of compliance or a certificate of occupancy. And they'll also be able to apply for rental registrations and then also register the vacant properties. Now, in order to log into the portal, I'm going to log out real quick.
And basically, as Lisa does this, we require the members of your community to fill out just a short form with their contact information, so we know who they are. Then they give us a password, a username, much like anything else on online shopping sites. And when they log into, of course, Murphy's Law. As they log into the portal, we confirm their address by sending a validation email so that we know that we have a good email for that individual. And from the system, we will be able to email communications back and forth. They will be able to message the back office through the portal with questions about applications. The back office will also be able to return messages that will ping their email address and let them know if they're missing certain documentation, if they need to provide something additional or to answer any questions they might have. So as Lisa gets through this, she's already logged in and
I'll log out.
it's a very simple form that they need to fill out. As I said, they provide their email address. The one step is we will confirm their email address by sending an email to their email address. They have to click on a link to confirm it. Then they're set up for a portal account. They need that account. They need to log in to apply for any of the permits that you guys are offering through your software. Our software, our collective software.
We are going to take a quick look at applying for a construction permit. So when I go into that area, since I'm logged in, I had already started a construction permit application in the website. So I can actually click into that application. Click into that application, and then the next screen is going to show us what status and what stage of the process it sits.
So your contractors in the community, they may have a long list of these permits outstanding. You can maintain that list of any of the applications you've completed through the portal, see the status of them, revisit the applications at any time. And as Lisa mentioned, maintain the progress of current applications through the portal. You can also provide any type of additional information that you'd like to provide to the applicant through PDFs available online. As we look at the UCC construction permits, these are guided by UCC guidelines. So the public, not always aware of those UCC guidelines. We make those all available to the public so that assists them in filling out their permitting application.
We also have the ability in the website to send the public can actually send a message to what we call the back office, which is the office staff. So if I click that, then another screen will pop up where I can actually select select a subject. So we're going to ask for status of this application, and I can put in my message here. What is the status of my application? If I typed right, we'll just put that typo there. And when they click the send button, then that's going to send an email to the office staff. So then they will receive that in their Outlook. They'll see the same message in the program in the back office, and they'll be able to answer and respond on those messages. And then if when the office responds back to the citizen, then they will be able to come in here and there will be a message for them to view. Go back to the home page. You also have the ability to search the construction permit database. So you can search construction permits. We'll click on 135 Plum Tree.
Ability to search for a construction permit, any construction permit that has been issued or just related to yourself?
Any construction permit that has been issued. And there, you know, definitely consider the what information that anyone could take. The redacted information and the township has the
So in the interest of time, because we do have a lot of business to get through, is this up and ready for operation now? Or are we still in development, the implementation?
It's right. Yeah. And obviously, that's a process that involves the support of you all. And through social media, being able to put this link on the website. Even in the offices where they get heavy foot traffic, there's a you put a QR code, which is basically just embed the link behind it, right? So somebody with a phone could use that QR code to go directly to the portal, to start driving traffic in that direction. It will seriously alleviate the traffic in the office and also the data entry that a lot of these folks are having to do day to day. Answer phones, help people at the window, and enter paper application. So this is the solution to alleviate all of that stress being
Thank
dealt
you.
with by the staff.
Council?
Is this able to be integrated into our app?
Any other questions?
Yes, thank you for the presentation. With this integration, is this an additional charge for our site? Okay,
Contract.
okay,
So this is, you know, this is why you bought the software. This is the reason. And so here we are, you know, it's a little intimidating. But I think the staff is definitely ready. Benefits, I assure you.
and I'm not sure if you went over that, but are individuals allowed to pay for fees with their banking information and everything?
Yes, absolutely. So when the online payment provider there is Amazon, you'll be able to for your fees, and there'll be an add to cart option.
And is there an additional charge if they're paying with the online?
So we were actually speaking with Stevia about this. We do not provide that service that credit card, online credit card providers need to be PCI compliant. And there are a dozen of them, more than a dozen out there that we can integrate with. Several townships in the area have integration with payment providers through our software. And I've told Ms. Stevia that I would be providing a list of those that we've integrated with thus far. Help you guys through the collection process. But as far as the credit card processing fees, a lot of our clients pass that forward. So just like you see a processing fee, you know, pay an extra $3 or whatever for the convenience fee, that is something that we can support as well.
Supported by where it's not at the expense of the person who's paying?
Well, yes, where you
Okay.
can, where you can pass the cost. I'm not sure of the intricacies of those credit card charges. That's with the vendors, the online payment portals.
Mhm.
But several of our clients choose to pass those processing fees. There's also the option to do like checks where you can just do your bank account. with no charge.
Yeah.
One last question. Does the system also hold historical data or permits that have been issued previously? Then we have the system.
The is software provider of their legacy and we put all that data over into that. All the data that come over and is available, accessible. Obviously. By the back office. When COVID happened, where you would have to.
And I just want to thank Mr. Tunsil for bringing this back, the council's request, bringing this back to our attention. And thank you for the presentation. You know, this seems like an opportunity to enhance our resident and business experience by streamlining and making easier some of the processes. So I appreciate the presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. So I will go on with my report. We'll start off with in finances. Our revenues generated as of March totals $1.5 million. 1,181,000 of those was tax revenue, and the monthly allotment to the Willingboro Board of Education in the amount of $2,829,433.67 was dispersed. We are happy that our revenue is up by 4% comparison to this time last year. Our expenditures or appropriations totaled $7,557,039.01 as of the end of March. The greatest portion of that was in our statutory expenses, our insurances, our pension insurances, our Social Security taxes and things like that, totaling almost 4.6 million. Salary and wages was behind that at 2 million. Our health insurance was a little over 300,000. And then some principal and interest on notes that were paid were just a little under 150,000. So those are our finances as of the end of March. For our police department, we currently have 58 sworn officers. We have one officer that is currently in the Camden County Police Academy and is set to graduate on June the 8th. 3 candidates had accepted a conditional offer of employment and 3 more are being interviewed. In total, we are looking to send about 5 recruits to the Camden County Police Academy in late April. Our patrols continue to conduct motor vehicle enforcement throughout the municipality, specifically targeting areas such as Pennypacker Drive, Beverly Rancocas Road, Evergreen Drive, Charleston Road, and Levitt Parkway, which is now Veterans Parkway. And in addition, patrols continue to monitor the library area during the day and night shifts. During the month of April, there will be increased distracted driver enforcement throughout the municipality. This is a statewide campaign, and Willingboro once again is participating in it this year. The DEA Take Back will be held on April 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the police department parking lot. This is for unused, expired prescription medication that you can dispose of safely on April the 28th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the police department parking lot. And during the month of February, donated a total of $121,280 to the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, Willingboro Fort Dix McGuire alumni for their 2nd annual Kappa Classic basketball game. They are hosting. The game will be a mix of local youth and Willingboro police officers. This event is designed to build stronger relationships between our youth and police. And the date for this event will be April the 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. here at the gym at the JFK Center. During the month of April, there were 20 ordinance violations that were handled by the police department, of which 9 summonses were issued, and we thank the police for continuing to enforce our ordinances. The Citizens Police Academy began on April the 1st and will be held every Saturday in April between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. There were 16 applications this year. At the last meeting, Captain Bucks presented some very informative information to the community regarding crime statistics. Although March 2023 saw an increase in cases, which if you remember is anything where further investigation would be needed, from February 23, it went from 148 to 178. Overall, again, March 2023 had a decrease in cases compared to March of 2022 at a rate of 17.2%. So again, the crime trend is trending down here in Willingboro. And again, at the last meeting, Captain Bucks also shared that Willingboro will be the recipient of a $99,000 grant to install ShotSpotter in the community. The vendor will be here on May the 2nd to make a short presentation to the council. Our safety committee met on April the 6th at the library. One of the attendees was the visitor from our joint insurance fund, Mr. Thomas Riley with J.A. Montgomery. Mr. Riley did speak and inform members of how he and his consulting group helps Willingboro Township going over any related safety issues. One of our human resource personnel did report that we had a decrease in our workplace injuries from 2021 to 2022. In 2021, there were 27 workplace-related injuries, and in 2022, it was reduced to 20, which is a little over a 20% decrease. So training suggestions were made for each department where to find related free training on our New Jersey Municipal Excess Liability website. Our fire and EMS department reported 115 fire calls, and EMS calls were 433. Our EMS revenue collected in March totaled $83,220.61. The Willingboro Fire Department, along with many other departments, did assist the Florence Fire Department to extinguish the 8-alarm building fire at the Fountain of Life Center back on March the 20th. March the 30th, the Willingboro Fire Crew, Platoon C, along with members of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, assisted the Fountain of Life school members moving furniture around at the Booker School in preparation for the start of their new temporary location, which they did move into. And just to remind you that applications are available online for the Second Citizens Fire Academy. The application deadline is April the 19th. This is an 8-week program designed to help inform participants about the way the Willingboro Fire Department operates with the goal of learning about fire safety. There is no cost to attend. Participants must be at least 21 years of age and commit to attending 7 of the 8 classes. Space is limited. There are only 15 seats available. There are still some spots available. The group meets every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9:30. From April 26th through June 14th at the Willingboro Fire and EMS located at 398 Charleston Road. And the Youth Fire Academy applications were available online or will be available online as of Monday, April the 17th. Our DPW department inspected some 358 catch basins, clearing 103 of those basin grates. They collected 179 cubic yards of material during sweeper operations for the month. We received 20 pothole complaints, 35 year to date. They addressed 52 pothole complaints and year to date at 248. There were 136 30-gallon trash bags of materials collected from our main roads and 25 30-gallon trash bags of material collected from the parks. I do want to take just a moment to acknowledge our DPW director, Mr. Richard Bravogel, who is scheduled to set off into his sunset years at the 28th of this month. He will be retiring after 20 years of service to the Willingboro community. And we just want to recognize Mr. Pavogel at this time and thank him for his service and all that he has done to keep Willingboro moving throughout the decades. Our Community Affairs Department continues to provide a host of services to meet the needs of our seniors, our veterans, and our community as a whole. Through connections with Ms. Reva Foster, we have partnered with the International Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene, the IWSH Foundation, and entered into a pilot program where they will provide plumbing upgrades and repairs for the Reva Foster Senior Center. In our memorandum of understanding, we have outlined how they will renovate the existing female and male bathrooms and the janitor's closet, replace drinking water fountains with bottled water filling stations. They will install new water supply shutoff valves that supply the hot and cold water to the new second floor plumbing fixtures. The only thing that Willingboro will have to do is to provide any asbestos and mold remediation, if any exists, and have our engineers provide plans for the new facilities which are being worked on. IWSH is providing these services by New Jersey's licensed master plumbers at their own expense. They are sourcing the materials, they are providing the labor and covering all of the expenses for us here in Willingboro. From our HR department, there were 2 new hires during the month of March. There was a new laborer was hired and the new EMT Public Works Fire Department personnel was employed. We did have 1 retiree in the police department. Unfortunately, there were 2 workers' comp claims in the police department, and we had 4 new COVID-19 positive cases amongst our employees in the month of March. In our recreation department, there are a lot of events going on in recreation and in the Willingboro community. This Friday is a poetry open mic, which is the first event being held at the newly remodeled amphitheater. There will be a ribbon cutting at 6 o'clock, immediately followed by the event from 6:30 to 8:30. So bring your chairs and come out and just enjoy the evening. This Saturday is a very busy Saturday. It's the Autism in My Shoes Symposium here at the JFK Center. There's the Earth Day kickoff and the Spring Community Cleanup are happening this Saturday. On Sunday, the Phenomenal Woman's Award Banquet is being held right here at the JFK Center. And I know it seems like a lot, but we have events planned on our calendar. Sometimes different organizations chooses to use our facilities for their events at the same time, which are really not related to events that we schedule and plan for the town. And just a final note, the 2022 annual report is complete and available. And the spring edition of the news letter is available on our websites and social media platform. That's my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Does council have any questions or comments for Mr. Harris's update? Okay, you can begin the ordinances and resolutions, Mr. Harris.
Yes, and I do want to just take a moment, Mayor, if I may, to just put a special shout out and thank you to our 2 IT members, Mr. Sean O'Brien and Mr. James Singleton. We had a very major technical difficulty over the weekend, and this event almost didn't happen. But literally, they burned the midnight hour oil last night and again today and did everything that they needed to do to make sure that we could meet here and all of our equipment works. So I just want to take a moment to recognize them for the extra above and beyond that they went to so we could have our meeting here. And I want to just thank Sean and James because you made this happen.
Thank you.
So our business for this evening comprises ordinance number 2023-7. It is the final reading of public hearing. This was an ordinance amending chapter 199, our housing standards, and chapter 280 rental property of the code of the township of Willingboro. This ordinance was specifically related to charging additional fees and making it available for rental properties or sellers who need a CO, who are kind of last minute within the 4-day window. This just provides them an opportunity to get that done, of course, at an additional cost. Ordinance number 2023-8 is the final reading and public hearing, an ordinance of the Township of Willingboro and the City of Burlington to establish the mutual aid agreement for the emergency police services among and between the Township of Willingboro and the City of Burlington. This was the mutual aid agreement providing mutual SWAT assistance to each other in the case of an emergent situation that required it. We have an established SWAT team. Willingboro City is establishing or reestablishing their SWAT team because of changes that were made on the state level or the county level. Municipal organizations cannot utilize other municipal organizations for SWAT services. They have to go straight to the state or to the county, which is the state or the county captain. State police, with the exception of Burlington City, can partner with Willingboro because they have a SWAT team and we have a SWAT team. No one else can utilize our services. They have to go straight to the state police for that. So that's ordinance 2023-8. Ordinance 2023-9 is the final reading and public hearing on an ordinance amending Part 2, Chapter 328, Article 4, Section 328 and 29 of the Township ordinances to modify the criteria and processes for honorary street name designation, which the council had vetted over the last few meetings and have come to a final criteria and process for that. Resolutions that are going to be presented for you for your consideration. Resolution number 2023-88 is approving change order number 1 and final. The final project for the closeout for the Bolton and Balfour Lane sinkhole repair project, which was completed. Resolution number 2023-89 is a resolution approving a salary increase to the township manager, and I do appreciate the council for this consideration. Resolution number 2023-90 is will be a public hearing and adoption of or possible adoption of the 2023 budget. We're going to shift this down to the bottom of the agenda so we can do it in the sequential order that it needs to occur in. Resolution number 2023-91 is a resolution for the approval of vouchers for payments and ratification. And then resolution number 2023-92 is authorizing the contract with the New Jersey Animal Control LLC for the provision of 2023 animal control services through the Township of Willingboro. We had entered into a temporary contract with them at the conclusion of last year after our animal control officer left. After some research, we were educated in the fact that we did need to go to some type of formal fair and open process to award animal control services, even though the state mandates that each municipality have animal control officers. So we did what we were obliged to do. New Jersey Animal Control came in with just a very slight increase over our prior year. And they're going to provide a host of services which are outlined in the proposal, which is available on the website for anyone who would like further detail on that. And finally, we are going to just ask for your consideration an additional resolution to amend our municipal budget. There are just some slight adjustments, moving some revenue for our rental cell towers from its own line item into a consolidated line item entitled local government service, other special items, leasing of municipal facilities. So we're just moving the 16,005 from its own line item into the consolidated line item. We need to do this before we could potentially finally adopt our budget which we did receive approval from the state this afternoon, that we can go ahead and do. And those are all the items that are being presented to the body this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Right now, we're going to open up the floor for public comment for agenda items only. Public comment concerning any resolution or any ordinance. And you have 2 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Public comment for agenda items is now open.
Tony Mathis. Address
Yes.
26 Medford Lane.
Thank you.
I was reading the proposal for the animal control. And I had some questions as I had personally had experienced past issues with animal control and picking up of strays when calling. Let me look at the time so I don't run too fast, too slow. Had called a number of times and was told that we could not pick up animals unless they were contained, which I found that interesting. It was up to us to contain them. I understand with this new company that will probably be handled. I did take the liberty of calling Charles Garrity, I guess the people redoing the new, I guess, animal control. And they had informed me that they are 5 days. They will be offering services 5 days a week, but that they will have someone on 2 days, they'll have an animal control officer, correct? And then in the evening, there'll be, I guess the police department will be handling it. And that's my question, is if this new protocol, if the police department and the officers that will be handling this are aware of the protocol, which they will be actually being able to pick up animals if they are strays, feral cats in that order. So that's my question, to find out if that is going to actually happen. I understand that it may be a hardship if you are asking residents to have to pay a surrender fee of $250. Therefore, a lot of times I think what's going to happen is the cats or dogs will they'll open up the door and let them run wild. And that's what we're seeing in certain communities. Okay, so I can come back for another. Okay.
Oh, you could come back at the next one. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else for public comment for agenda items? Is there anyone online?
Yes, Mayor Sharon Anderson.
Hi, Sharon Anderson, 7 Bellhurst. I want to thank you for the transparency in the animal control RFP and contract. I'm a little shaken by the person before me mentioning something about a $250 surrender amount, so I'm hoping that'll get addressed. But I look forward to continuing to work with the township as Borough Pet Project tries to help fill in with animal control as we need to. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Is there anyone else online?
Not at this moment.
Okay, public comment for agenda items only is closed. Mr. Harris, can you address Ms. Mathis' concern about animal control and, our protocol and also the surrender fee of $250?
Yeah, I don't recall, the surrender fee of I will look through the contract again and focus on that, but I do know our animal control will be spending, I believe it's 2 hours per day in the municipality patrolling. If there is a particular incident, the residents, there is the ability to contact the police department, who will have access to animal control. They will provide certain services to the municipality after hours at a defined rate. So that's pretty much the same procedures that we have been operating on. Unfortunately, that may not have been clearly communicated to the community, but Captain Bucks has assured me that his team will be well versed on animal control protocol and what they need to do when a complaint is received. And I do believe that accessibility or that functionality is also available in our new Willingboro Connect app, where you will be able to lodge your complaints directly there, and they will go right to the proper location in our animal control division.
And Ms. Mathis also brought up that you can't pick up animals unless they're contained. Is that part of the protocol? Just so our residents understand.
Yeah, help me here, Captain. I remember something about the containment, but I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Yes, part of the process for New Jersey Animal Control is to make sure that the animal is contained and then they'll respond. So how it works is if the animal's not contained, police department goes out there, you know, we determine or we try to figure out, we try to contain the animal. If it's contained, then they're called and they come out and then they'll bring that, they'll try to either locate the owner, or what they'll do is they'll bring the animal to the shelter.
And when you say contain, what does that mean?
It would be in the backyard, something like that. But if we have like for instance, it was the other day, there was a loose pit bull in Mill Creek Park. I know about it because I was actually part. So I sat there, I called New Jersey Animal Control, said, hey, listen, we have a loose pit bull. She's right here with us. And then I called him up, and probably within about 20 minutes, Animal Controls came and then they took the dog, and I guess they took it. As far as after hours, which would be anything after 5 o'clock, if police department responds to every animal complaint that goes out. And then if the animal's not contained, you know, it's again would be if it's, you know, running around, we'll say running around Millbrook Park. If we can't locate it and we can't contain the animal, you know, that's one of the unfortunate things that, you know, if we can't find it, we won't call New Jersey Animal Control out after hours, because that would come out and they would just be doing the same thing that we would do, driving around Mill Creek Park trying to find the dog.
Any other concerns or questions about animal control? Okay, thank you. Okay, and then Ms. Anderson was just offering her assistance in supplementing our animal control with the Borough Pet Project. Okay. All right, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2023-7, this is public hearing, an ordinance amending chapter 199 housing standards and chapter 280 rental property of the code of the township of Willingboro. Public hearing is now open. Host anyone?
Not at this time.
Public hearing is now closed. Ordinance 2023-7, this is the final reading. An ordinance amending chapter 199 housing standards and chapter 280 rental property of the code of the township of Willingboro. I need a motion, please.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Dr. Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman
Yes.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yeah.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-8, this is public hearing, an ordinance of the Township of Willenboro and the City of Burlington to establish a mutual aid agreement for the emergency police services among and between the Township of Willenboro and the City of Burlington. Public hearing is now open. Host, do you see anyone online?
Not at this time.
Public hearing is now closed. This is the final reading for ordinance 2023-8, an ordinance of the Township of Willenboro and the City of Burlington to establish a mutual aid agreement for the emergency police service among and between the Township of Willenboro and the City of Burlington. I need a motion, please.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman Dr. Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Worthy.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-9, this is the public hearing, a ordinance amending Part 2, Chapter 328, Article 4, Section 328-29 of the Willenboro Township Ordinance to modify the criteria and the process for honorary street name designation. The hearing is now open. Host, do we see anyone?
Not at this time.
Public hearing is now closed. This is the final reading for ordinance 2023-9, an ordinance amending Part 2, Chapter 328, Article 4, Section 328-29 of the Willenboro Township Ordinances to modify the criteria and the process for the honorary street name designation. I need a motion, please.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Dr. Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Worthy.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion for a consent agenda for resolution 2023-88, resolution 2023-89, resolution 2023-91, and resolution 2023-92.
Second.
Moved by Mayor McIntosh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Whitfield. Roll call, please.
Eric, can I get that 88, 89, and
91 and 92.
Is that gonna be after this?
Yes, for the budget, we're gonna put them all in the budget. Okay. Okay, I got it. Rescind. Have some message. 89, 89, I'm sorry, 88, 91 and 92. That good with everyone? Make a motion for consent agenda for resolution 2023-88, resolution 2023-91, resolution 2023-92.
Second.
Moved by Mayor McIntosh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Whitfield. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Perone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Worthy.
Yes.
Deputy
Yeah.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
By Mayor McIntosh, seconded by Councilwoman Perone. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Worthy.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
Resolution 20, continue, Mayor.
Yes, please.
Resolution 2023-89, resolution approving township manager's salary adjustment. I need a motion, please.
So moved. Moved by Deputy Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Discussion, please.
So
I see this item as regarding the salary increase for 3% for our township manager.
Yes.
And it says here that the reason is because everyone else in the township also received a raise. So one, the question is, how much of a raise did everyone receive? Number two, raises are not given because everyone else got them. It comes with merit, it comes with what have you done for the year? I know it's been a year. We did one performance review, and I believe we're supposed to have another this month, March. It was supposed to be our next quarter or something in April. So I just find that the reason for receiving or requesting a 3% raise or increase is because everyone else got a raise. So can you just explain, Mr. Harris, why do you feel that we should give you a 3% salary increase, like more elaborate?
Madam Mayor.
Well, we have a question.
Yeah, my question was just to Mr. Harris. I read what was written here, and that's what it said. I lost the page, but it said because everyone else in the township has received a raise. It did not say how much of a raise. I was also looking for our ordinance where it speaks to the maximum of a salary increase could be at 3%. However, it could be 1.5, it could be 2 but you did not reference how much of a salary increase did the others receive. So the two-part question, how much did everyone else receive? Did everyone get 3% increase, or is that what you're asking for?
So that was the request that was put before the body. I believe that my performance here in Willingboro has been, I would say, stellar, but at the very least, highly acceptable. But again, these are my opinion. No, everyone did not receive a 3% increase. Most increases were based on whatever contractual agreements were. But that was the amount that I had presented to the body in my email to all of you. There was a range in there, and that was the range that was presented back to me as the acceptable figure.
Mhm. Okay, and okay, so that's your response. I appreciate your response. And I do find that you've been doing a really hard job, and coming into Willingboro, not having been here before, I do find that you have done some pretty remarkable things.
Thank you.
There are areas of continuous improvement. We discussed that before, and I did want to have another performance review, which we're supposed to have. I think it was supposed to be in April or March. So as far as my thoughts, council, I think I'd like to have an additional performance review to see where we all are, and then revisit this salary increase and decide then whether 3% or 2%, 5% is what we should agree on. So that's my thought.
Thank you, Councilman Barone. Councilman Anderson?
As I reviewed the email that Mr. Harris sent out, as I read it, some contractual agreements already include a cost of living increases. When I questioned counsel, ours is automatic. It's my understanding that his is not. So that was part of his request, because unless we look at it and we determine that he can have one, for me, it was all fairness. Most folks get it across the board, plus it's their contract, and as well as we did. So I had no problems giving him the increase to, help him with his cost of living expenses as well as the work he's been doing.
And I just want to also add that there was no increase last year. He's been here, Mr. Harris has been here over a year.
January is 1 year. He's only here.
Year 21. So he's been here a whole year, 2022.
But we
So
had
there was
only
no-
one performance.
Right, but he did not receive any increase. So just want to put that on the record also. So
I just wanted just to respond to Councilman Anderson. Again, I was not stating whether or not an increase should be on the table, but what he stated in this document of the resolution is because everyone, all the employees received an increase. And he stated here today with regards to how much everyone received, regardless of how our economy has fluctuated, they all did not get a 3% increase. So I don't feel that he should get a 3% just because, actually, he just said it, everyone else did not get a 3% increase. And I'm not here to discuss how much they received, but I was very much aware that everyone did not get a 3% raise. And all I'm saying is that there were things that we'd asked from Mr. Harris at his only performance review ever received. We were supposed to have another follow-up, which was this month, which has not happened. And I just find that as sitting councilmen and women, that we should be strict with what we're asking and have you produce, and then decide the value of how much of an increase is. Everyone in this township did not get a 3% increase, Mr. Councilman Anderson.
To your point, I understand that, and so does Mr. Harris. But at the same time, he put it forth in an email, he provided a range. And the majority of us agreed.
How could you? This is the first, this is our count. We can't vote on.
Well, if it's on the agenda, listen to what I'm saying to you.
Mhm.
It's on the agenda at 3%. My conversation to him was that I agree with the 3%. When I saw it in the agenda, I guess there was others that responded to the email independent. And they apparently also agreed because I see it on the agenda. He did provide an email with a range. And I understand your position and your stance, and each of us took our own stand.
We're allowed, we can make decisions on email or vote in any form of way, and that goes to our, you know, that we all know we cannot do that. So whenever we have a concern as a body, this is where I'm supposed to speak to all of you about it. So you can, and at the end, you can all still vote the majority to give them the 3%, but it wouldn't be because I did not speak about my concern as a council member. And I feel like I have valid concerns because we did have only one performance review, and it was not a very good performance. Let's just put it that way. And all of us know that. I have seen improvement, but we should have another one. Again, reason for 3% is not because everyone else got a raise. Reasons for 3% is not because the fluctuation of the world. No. Reason for 3% is because how well have you done? Did you hear us when we had this meeting? Did you improve? That's all that I'm saying. So I don't want to belabor it, but please don't tell me about an email that everybody voted on, because this is the only setting that we vote on
Let me
anything.
just be very clear. Nobody voted on.
Nobody voted.
Everybody
No,
felt what
just-
they wanted to do,
just
and that's why it's on the agenda.
Just some clarification. When the email came across, I responded. My assumption is when I saw the 3% here, based on the conversation I had, I'm assuming he had a conversation with everyone else, but 3% to appear on the agenda. So there was no group conversations for purposes of.
Okay, I didn't, Mr. Harris can tell you, I did not speak to him about this 3% raise. I spoke about it now. And he had said he wanted, it can be spoken about in the body of the public. So that's why we're here discussing this matter. I don't have anything
No, I
additional to add.
And I appreciate that input. And it's on this agenda because of the email, not because of discussion, but there was put forth. From my point of view, he did not receive anything last year. I do think he's doing a great job and also doing a lot of things above and beyond. So it is here for council's consideration. So I do appreciate your input. And I think this is the place where we do have it. So you are correct with that.
Okay.
I'd also like to add some comments to the discussion. In my point of view, I think Mr. Harris has been doing a tremendous job as our township manager. He has been able to get traction and move forward many projects that have been stalled out for a number of years. I appreciate his hard work, dedication, and commitment to Willingboro. And I think a 3% cost of living increase for his work and performance in the 2020 year is more than fair.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please. I'm sorry, Dr. Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to say that I do support this for Mr. Harris based on the work that he has done, not because everybody else got a 3% or more or less, but for his contributions to our township to help move us forward, to respond to the needs of the council, the community. And we've gotten great feedback from residents in terms of the performance that he has done. Not that we're doing a performance evaluation today, But I think that an increase of roughly $4,200 for the year is reasonable. And it is a cost of living increase. It's not a raise, just based on performance. It is a cost of living increase. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. In previous years, this was just automatic for the township manager to receive an increase. It was automatic. So last year, I believe last year we did change it that it would have to come before council before it would just be an automatic increase. So I think that is prior years, it was just automatic.
Right, we're supposed to have the plan, but okay,
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Yes.
No. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Resolution 2023
I'm going to do the amendment.
Resolution 2023 9. This is public for the 2023 budget. Is now. Public hearing. Anyone online?
Not at this moment.
Public hearing is now closed. Resolution 2023-94, resolution to amend the 2023 budget. I need a motion, please.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Whitfield. Any discussion? Discussion?
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone,
yes,
Councilwoman Worthy,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield,
Yes.
and Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-90. This is a resolution to adopt the 2023 budget. I need a motion, please.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Dr. Worthy. Discussion? Please.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone,
yes,
Councilwoman Worthy,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield,
Yes.
and Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
I need a motion to approve the treasury report, please.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Dr. Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Perone,
yes,
Councilwoman Worthy,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
And Mayor McIntosh.
Yes.
Understand the minutes were not in your packet. So we would not be doing approval of minutes.
Yes, please continue onto your updates.
Just a few things from the clerk. We did, our deputy clerk did resign as of April the 10th. The clerk office continued to get a plethora of phone calls and made a plethora of phone calls. We received 1,276 calls and we made 1,797 calls. We have a total of 101 Oprahs for the month of March. We had 20 death certificates, 105 birth certificates, 17 marriage certificates, 11 marriage applications, mail-ins, 1 wedding. Upcoming events that we will have our youth and government, May the 16th, 2023. We will have that confirmed, need to hear from the school. Of course, election June 2023, May 10th. We will have our dog clinic at Mill Creek Park. To announce during this tenure, Dr. Worthy, you see the customized proclamation folder, only took 2 years, but they are here. also the survey cards and the table covers that we have on the table today. All I have.
And these survey cards are good for who? What are-
We were asked to make survey cards for the clerk office.
For these are for the residents.
Right.
Okay. And where can they find these?
They'll be outside the clerk.
Okay.
And do they return them in a box or do they return them right to the window?
They can return them to the window or put them in the box. The box is by the security.
Any comments or concerns for the clerk?
Yes. In light of your report indicating that the deputy mayor, the deputy clerk has resigned, have we began to look at a process? On her replacement?
We will have a process after we hear some other things.
Any other questions or comments?
I do think these look really nice.
Mhm.
It looks nice and elegant, yeah. Good job with that.
Okay, there's no other questions. We'll move on to unfinished business. Does any council member have anything for unfinished business?
Madam Mayor, follow up to prior meetings where there was discussion and concern raised by public comment as well as from the council in regard to group homes. I did do some follow-up and got some information that I think, would be helpful for the community to know as well as the committee and council. And essentially, one of the questions was, what is the law as it applies to group homes? And quite frankly, there's federal law that treats group homes as being homes for the disabled and handicapped individuals. And the housing statutes that apply under federal law prohibit local zoning from discriminating based on that protected criteria of being disabled. New Jersey law has specific statutes under the zoning sections that basically prohibits the township by putting in any ordinance that would discriminate against individuals based upon handicap or disability, again, group homes. And that's been applied in various case law against other towns. There's also another section which specifically prohibits any kind of attempt by a municipality to enact any kind of zoning law that would prohibit or limit community residences in group homes, such as we've been talking about. I mean, essentially, if you had to get down into the cases, and I won't bore you with all the details, only lawyers like me really care about that type of thing. But at the end of the day, basically group homes are treated under the law as just like any other residence. It can't be regulated any more or any less than a private resident that owns a house within the township. There was a discussion as to whether or not the township could prepare like a listing of where these group homes are located. And quite frankly, there is case law that has found that that type of listing would be discrimination based on the protected class. And therefore, those type of lists are not available. There is a listing of licensed group homes that's maintained by the state DCA. And I believe residents could ask for that and OPRA that request directly from DCA's Department of Community Affairs, state of New Jersey. But essentially, the questions that were asked were, what can we do in terms of regulating them? And the answer is really, you can't do anything more to regulate them than any normal residents within the township. Of course, they are held by virtue of that. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So they have to comply with all the ordinance requirements in terms of maintaining the property, maintaining the home, maintaining and living up to whatever laws or ordinances would apply to those structures or the use of those structures. But you can't do anything in terms of any higher or greater requirements in terms of the group homes. So I think that does answer the questions that were raised and, you know, I would like to have been able to say we have more ability to regulate, but quite frankly, we don't. They have to be treated just like any normal residents, and that's what we're going to do going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Crook, for that update.
Yep.
Any questions? Anything else for unfinished business? Does council have anything for new business? On to public comment. Public comment is now open. You have 4 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record.
Ben Brantley, 44 Woodhaven Lane. McIntosh. Township Council. Township Manager. Everyone in attendance. In person and online. My name is Kim Brantley. I live at 44 Woodhaven Lane in Willingboro. Tonight, I would like to introduce myself as a candidate running in the June 6, 2023 election for Township Council here in Willingboro. I'm an honorably discharged United States Army veteran. I served my country in Germany during the post-Vietnam era for 27 months. I come from a family of veterans. My 4 brothers served their country honorably, along with my beautiful wife, who served in the Navy for 13 years. I'm the father of 5 and the grandfather of 12. I retired from the United States Postal Service after 34 years of service as a delivery supervisor over 32 letter carriers. I am currently a DAV service officer for Chapter 42 here in Willingboro. I have direct contact with over 150 veterans in the past 3 years, even during COVID-19. As a service officer, I process claims for many veterans seeking long overdue benefits. I have been a resident of Willingboro for over 25 years. I was a member of the committee for the parade changing Levitt Parkway into Veterans Way. I have an associate's degree in human service from Rowan College at Burlington County and a bachelor's degree in behavioral science from Wilmington University. My educational background is why I have a passion for serving and helping people. I'm the chairman of the trustee board at my church, where I've been a member since childhood. I feel compelled to share with the residents of Willingboro my experience in the process of running for township council. I was successful in collecting 80 signatures to validate my ability to be placed on the June 6, 2023 ballot. The required number of signatures was 50. I submitted my petition to the township clerk on March 22nd, 2023. This was 5 days before the deadline of March 27th, 2023. I returned to the township office on March 27th to find out the status of my signatures and was told by a township clerk that my signatures were good. I filed a request with the township clerk to review the petitions of all candidates running for council. During my review, I noticed that township clerk Brenda Blasion had signed a sworn oath stating that she was the person who circulated petition and witness signatures for the incumbents, Mayor Kay McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Samantha Whitfield, and Councilwoman Tiffany Worthy. Ms. Blasion then had her deputy clerk notarize the affidavit. I believe this is a direct conflict of interest. Furthermore, Ms. Blasion herself notarized an affidavit for someone collecting signatures for the 3 incumbents that were not present for the document to be notarized. The affidavit clearly states that witness must take the affidavit to each set he or she solicits and sign in the presence of the person authorized to administer, which is a notary public. Therefore, I believe signature on the petition should not be counted.
Mr. Brantley, your time is up.
Oh, that was 4 minutes? Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
sir. Well,
I'll be back again. Name is Ken Brantley, column 2. Position 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brantley.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, my fellow residents. I was hoping you weren't gonna hit that button, Ms. Prijor. I'm bringing you some information from the Burlington County Partners for Youth Success, Willingboro Municipal Committee. It's some rather disturbing information. Evictions and homelessness is at an all-time high in Willingboro and actually across the state. Due largely in part to the large hikes in rents, many residents are being evicted. Folks are being displaced in New York and in North Jersey and are moving south. We are also a sanctuary state, so we're getting a number of people from South America. We have families in Willingboro who are living in hotels and motels in Burlington County and in Camden County. And those hotels and motels are running out because people from Mercer County are also being displaced down in Burlington County and Camden County. We have residents who are now living in their cars because there's no place for them to go. The sanctuary families have been moving in with families, so now it's also putting a strain on our school district. It's at a crisis point at this point. People have no place to go. As I said, rents at all-time high. We're in a housing crisis because there's not enough housing for all the people who are moving south. The second thing I want to bring to you is that the Willingboro Municipal, I'm getting my committees messed up. The Willingboro Community Development Corporation is having an entrepreneur and career symposium next Thursday, April 27th here at the Kennedy Center from 8:30 to 12:30. Our keynote speaker is Jane Oates. She's the president of Working Nations, and she is the former Assistant Secretary of Labor under President Obama. I think that's all I have for you this evening. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lionel Borden. I reside at 40 Thornhill Lane here in Willingboro, New Jersey. To Mayor McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Winfield, and the Willingboro Township Council, and to the residents of Willingboro, good evening. I'd like to officially introduce myself. I am Lionel Borden Sr. I am officially announcing my candidacy for the Willingboro Township Council. My slogan is keeping it real. Real is an acronym for responsible, evolving, accountable leadership. I do ask for the support of the residents of Willingboro in helping me to accomplish my endeavor. My name will be on the ballot in column 1. Again, my name is Lionel Borden Sr. I am a longtime resident of Willingboro. I am a graduate of the Willingboro High School class of 1999. My wife and I have been married for 16 years. I've been blessed with 4 children. I am a member of Foster Military Lodge number 67, right here on Charleston Road. We are the Prince Hall Free and Accepted Masons here in New Jersey. Through my endeavors and through the fraternity, we have donated countless hours of community service to our residents and to the betterment of our community. I'm excited to begin this journey. I look forward to serving and meeting many of the residents of Willingboro and the community. Let's talk and figure out a way that we can make a better Willingboro. Just remember on June 6th, remember me, Lionel Borden, column 1. So we've heard some of the issues with the process in running for council. We've learned that Ms. Balajian during the final day to submit the petition took the liberty to solicit the three incumbent positions throughout the township of Willingboro, advocating for her bosses that she worked directly for. Only after one of the employees complained to the township manager to solicit the signatures to have Ms. Balajian stop. This was a direct violation of the Willingboro Employee Handbook 5, Conduct of Employees, Section D, petition policy. The Willingboro Township Clerk is in charge of all the elections in Willingboro and should not be showing favor to her bosses. Ms. Balajian did not collect signatures for any of the candidates other than any of the other candidates other than the three incumbents. I believe that the election law, this violates the law in question. As a candidate for Township Council, I want the residents of Willingboro to opportunity to participate in a free election, to make it fair for everyone. And I just want the residents of Willingboro to be aware of what's going on. Again, my name is Lionel Borden. I am a longtime resident here of Willingboro, New Jersey. And I do look for the support and nomination for the Township Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bolden. Is there anyone else for public comment? Is there anyone else for online?
Yes, Mayor Sharon Anderson.
Good evening again, folks. This is Sharon Anderson. I'm from 7 Bellhurst, and I have just a few short notes here. One, Manager Harris, thank you so much for the measures in your activity report. It helps to understand the magnitude of the challenges and accomplishments in our township. The staff and guest presentations at these meetings are terrific. So many answers to important questions that are often discussed outside the council meetings. Far more information than anyone resident, or at least me, can record in writing or accurately in my memory. I would really appreciate it if you're looking to having IT post the presentations individually so that we could share them as new residents and other residents ask us what's going on, and we can be more accurate than just saying, I think I remember from the last council meeting, which is hard. And it would further enhance the wealth of the information that is on the website, the app, and YouTube. Quick note of thank you to Rich Bravogel for his service. He was the first Willingboro staff person I got to know, and to no one's surprise, it was because I had a complaint. Rich was responsive and he was professional, and he has continued to be so for me as a resident the 13 years that I've lived here. Thank you, Rich. God bless you in your hard-earned retirement. Lastly, let me use the last moments of my comment time to applaud Sean and James from IT. We didn't get to do that when the council, when manager was commenting on them. Sean and James are hidden treasures in our town administration. And to know that you pulled off tonight, not just as you usually do, but in facing big challenges is really quite impressive. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson.
All right, Tarina Williams.
Thank you. Tarina Williams, 8 Botany Circle. Good evening, Mayor. Excuse me, Mayor McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Whitfield, fellow council members, Mr. Harris, Ms. Blygen, and community residents. First, I want to say congratulations to Mr. Bravogel on your retirement. God bless you, richly bless you, I should say, for your hard work and dedication to the Township of Willingboro. We've been richly blessed by all your hard work and still remember the time when we needed our my mom and I needed assistance, and you came that very same day. Thank you so very much, and may God richly bless you. Second, I wanted to say thank you once again for Willingboro Connect. It's an awesome app with great service. Learned about the PSCNG Utilities Assistance Week and was able to spread that information to other residents who may not have the app or may not know about this. So it's been an asset to my phone. I wanted to let everyone know that next Saturday, April 29th, we're having our annual Community Service Day. Our theme is Live, Love, and Serve. That's what we all should feel encouraged to do, live a life of service. And the best way to do that is being loving one to another. We usually have a seminar in the afternoon featuring different guest speakers. Mayor McIntosh has been so kind to be our guest speaker in times past prior to COVID. But since our host church, St. Paul United Methodist Church, will be having a special program called FIGS. This stands for Flourish Institute for Girls Success. We'll be supporting them. And it's an awesome program that we all should be encouraged to attend. It's from 3 p.m. to 4. That will be 1 hour session. And then another session will be from 4 to 5. And I just wanted to share that information. So please be encouraged to attend. Registration is required. Not for the FIGS program, but not for our church service on April 29th. But both of them are for community outreach. What I love about our community is that while we have our differences from time to time, we all share the same desire of making a positive difference in each other's lives. May God richly bless you and thank you.
Ms. Williams.
All right, Sarah Holly.
Sarah Holly, Tioga Lane. Congratulations to Rich Pavogel for his dedication over the years to the Willingboro community. So enjoy your retirement, Rich. I want to talk a little bit about the trash collection. And I know, Council, you knew that I would be speaking tonight because I posted on Facebook. So I'm going to read exactly what I posted there. We are right back to warm weather and trash not being picked up, thereby producing an overabundance of flies and other pests. Isn't this the budget season? And if so, I would like to see a line item in the budget pertaining to trash collection. I don't want to hear that there's not going to be an increase in taxes and I can't get my trash picked up in Twin Hills on a regular basis. You need to negotiate a contract with a company that's responsible enough to do the job. Sometimes, Council, the lowest bidder is not the best candidate for the job. So we need to do something during this budget season and make sure that our trash are picked up. Our trash was supposed to be picked up on Friday. It wasn't picked up until Monday morning. So that's going to be a problem if that continues. It should not be that, not be like that. As it relates to the housing inspector, how are they used? Maybe I need to do an open request. What's their role? And how do you evaluate them? Because if they are assigned to a specific area, do they ride around the area that they are assigned and take notes as to what's not permissible in the township? They need to be doing that, because if you ride around this community, there are a lot of things that are against the code. So someone needs to ensure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, because I don't think they are. And I think we pay too much money in taxes for the community to sometimes look the way that it looks. They need to ride around and write out some tickets to people that are not doing what they're supposed to do. As it relates to homelessness, the Burlington County Board of Social Services, they have on Woodland Road, they have a housing hub. If there's anyone in the community that is having a problem with housing, they need to take a visit or take a trip over on to Woodland Road and ask for the services that are provided to homeless there. And that concludes my comments for tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Holly, and thank you for that information on the homelessness hub. Is there anyone online for public
yes.
comment?
Yes, Mayor Beulah Williams.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, Township Manager, Clerk, fellow members, good evening. I want to know what is being done for the homelessness. I didn't know until Ms. Lindsay Harvey mentioned it, how bad it was in Willingboro. So I'd like that addressed to see if anything is being done to combat this issue. And my trash pickup was picked up the next day. So I thought that was very good. I appreciate the work that our township manager has been doing. And as far as I can see, he deserves a raise. But I also appreciate Councilwoman Perron asking the difficult questions. A lot of times I don't agree with the way she asks questions or conduct, she has her own personal style, but I agree with her asking. And, it doesn't change my conclusion that our manager is doing an awesome job and he deserves a raise, but questions should be asked, and I appreciate her doing that. The question was asked, also being mulled over about residents with distinction, whether a street should be named after them and so on. And I was thinking that another way to deal with this, we could have a book of remembrance where the distinction of these residents would be written, where people can go and look up in this book and see, well, this person dated such and such, did what and what, and this would be a way to remember them. So instead of changing streets, maybe I'm not understanding it enough, because for instance, if a person's name begins with W and there are no W parks in Willingboro, are you going to change the name? Wouldn't that change the configuration of each park having the same streets beginning with a certain name? I'm not sure if I'm articulating properly, and maybe I'm misunderstanding, so I need some clarification on this change of streets to remember or to acknowledge somebody's distinction for the betterment of our great Willingboro city. So I need some clarification on that. Again, I think our council is doing a wonderful job, and keep up the good work. Community Service Day. I think my daughter mentioned something about Community Service Day, and I am hoping that we'll get the support from our community to come on out on the 29th of April at the Church of St. Paul's Church at 201 Veterans Parkway. I think it will be from 3 to 5 on the 29th of April. Thank you. Just a second.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Is there anyone else online?
Not at this moment.
Public comment is now closed. Oh, I'm sorry, come in.
Listen to me again. My name is Tony Mathis, 26 Medford Lane. This is new to me to get up in front of people to talk about issues that are going on in Willingboro. There were some very good points that were brought up tonight, and one was on homelessness and housing. And there was an incident that happened when I used to live in Rittenhouse Park, whereas the Board of Social Services would actually allow for people to live in the townhouses. And they were given that money was, I guess the Board of Social Services paid for that. What was happening was that they were not monitoring it. My concern is that let's not make Willingboro a dumping ground. It's nothing, I was homeless myself at one time, so I can appreciate the need for there to be assistance. But you need to treat people with dignity and respect. The house was occupied, and there was more people living in the house than that should have been living in the house. And when they were actually moving out of the house and new people were coming in, there was not any code enforcement to actually go back in to make sure that things were clean or whatever you have to do, if it's painting the walls that you do when new residents come in. So there wasn't any monitoring of that, and that's my concern. The same thing would be with a group home. If that group home is just for disabilities, or is it also lead into with sex offenders? I'm not quite sure what we mean by group homes if it's just for disabilities. So, and we should accommodate, but as you know, that there have been rules and laws passed that people say, I don't want it in my neighborhood. And then there's been, I guess, suits such as the Mount Laurel, I guess, issue that happened some time ago. I am concerned about the code enforcement piece. Mr. Tunsil, I've talked to him in the past. It would be a good thing if in fact we had code enforcers that were going out in each of the parks on a regular basis, because there's things being missed and we know they're being missed. We have some abandoned houses that I'm not quite sure if that's a code enforcement issue. Houses that maybe had a fire, but they're still boarded up. That does not look good for our community. What are we doing about those things? Those are kind of answers that I would like to see happen instead of letting housing continue to deteriorate without anyone checking to make sure that those things are up to par. So I have 59 minutes. And that's in 59 seconds. I wish it was 59 minutes. That's always an issue because you feel like you have so many things that you want to accomplish and talk about, and you don't have a lot of time to do that. And I'm not quite sure when does the board, when do you guys address those questions that we have? So that we have answers and that we don't continue to have month after month after month of issues not being addressed, such as cutting the grass or fences falling down. Those are my comments for tonight. I thank you for your time and have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Mathis.
I'm sorry, Mayor. I do see Maddie Mallory.
Okay.
Good evening, Maddie Mallory, Hudson Place. And just wanted to make a comment about the homelessness. There are situations where some of the people that are homeless refuse to contact, the different agencies for help. One example, a couple of weeks ago, I was at Burger King about 6 in the evening. And this lady was standing there. So she waited until I got ready to walk out. And she approached me asking for money when I walked out the door. And, I said to her, I said, well, there are services available in the county. And, I said, there's a 211 number that you can call and, find out what kind of assistance. She said, oh, I know about them. They only help you one time. So, I mean, homelessness is an issue not only here in Willingboro, it's a national issue. And a lot of these people just don't want to reach out to the different agencies that are available to them. So, it's something that as a society, I'm not sure what the solution is, but believe it or not, a lot of these people are quite familiar with the services. They just won't, reach out to them. My other comment is that I'm glad that Mr. Brantley and Mr. Bolden introduced themselves as candidates for positions on our council. And I would encourage them to get out among the residents and, let us know more about them. And I think it's a good thing that we have some competition in town. And I strongly encourage them and wish them good luck and, looking forward to hearing what they have to offer. So on that note, have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mallory.
Kathleen Mack, Maplewood, 70 Maplewood Lane. I'd like to follow up from after last week's meeting about the turf and Veteran Stadium. I have another article from Ms. Lodgen. She can hold for the people. One for anybody who'd like to read it. It's very interesting about turf, which I don't know whether we're going to do that or not. There's a lot of talk about it. Anyhow, an interesting part of this, her statement in here is that Veteran Stadium was managed by the city, which spent roughly $8 million to have the Vets turf replaced 5 times during its 33-year history. So what they're telling us about turf, I don't know how they're saying it these days, the last 12, 15 years, lasted less there. Let's get away from that. I'd like to say thank you very much to council for the presentation tonight. That was great. I'll be happy to see our auditorium finished and working again. It's been very dear to my heart. My children were both musicians and many concerts and plays and everything else. My husband was a musician also, besides a teacher. So it's very. And my son-in-law, as a matter of fact, taught here, was the band director for 8.5 years. So I'm waiting. And I say thanks to Mr. Vogel for telling us about all this debt service that we're going to save money, and sounds good to me. So let's go forward with it. The other, let's see. Last thing I'd like to say, there have been a lot of problems presented tonight. But I want to say thanks to Mr. Vogel for having to work through so many problems. I've never heard so much about trash in my life as the last 2 years. A lot of it is really, when you look at that around the city, the township, sorry, not city, township, a lot of it has to do with the people. They just throw stuff around. They don't even, they have trash containers. They can't even put it in the trash. They set it beside. So anyhow, let's get off that and say, Mr. Bravogel, thank you. I'm going to miss not being able to call you and say how nice my ride through the park was today, because I think the park is beautiful. I've not been there this week, but I'll be there by Friday. And just take a look around this town. I noticed today going out Kennedy Way and Dan Skyber Parkway at the corner. You look off on the left, on the right, going towards Burlington City. There's the most beautiful woodsy area right at the corner behind Pizza Hut of wisteria growing. Nobody planted it there, but it makes our community look very nice. And I think you should all take a ride over there tomorrow, go to Ricardo's, sit in their parking lot and look at that wisteria. It's gorgeous. And so is this town, but it's up to us to keep it that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mack. Just one last check for anyone online for public comment.
Not at this time.
Thank you.
Yes, William Weston, 44 Bosworth Lane. I just want to reiterate some of the things that are happening in our town. There will be a South Jersey Small Business Expo at the Borough Epicenter on Thursday at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's a vending opportunity and some small business will get there. It's put on by Front Runner Magazine, a small media company. Of course, we have the, you mentioned the amphitheater, but I did go by there. It looks very nice. And that's going to be on Friday, April 21st. But I did want to reiterate the community street cleanup on the 22nd, and that if you want a t-shirt, you have to go to the link and then while supplies last, but there's a link to register for that. And of course, we want to have pride in keeping our community clean. So I do implore our residents to meet at JFK on the 22nd at, what time does it start? 8, 9 o'clock? All right, 9 a.m. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weston. All right, at this time, it is 8:57. Public comment is now closed. We'll start off with Mr. Brantley and Mr. Bolden, their concerns.
I'm the township solicitor. I guess I wanted to make it clear that the issue that was brought up in terms of the petitions and the objections filed, as well as the response by the deputy clerk, everybody sitting up here at this table as council people, they weren't involved in that review process. The statutes make it clear that it's the township clerk that is responsible for accepting and reviewing and vetting petitions and vetting objections to petitions. When the alleged conduct of Ms. Blygen became apparent, and I'm not going to comment any further on that as that involves personnel matters which aren't appropriate to bring up before this board or this committee or this council or the people here. That is something that's confidential pursuant to law. However, when it was brought up, Ms. Blygen immediately notified myself as well as the deputy clerk. She was recused from the process going forward, which was entirely appropriate and what should have been done at that point. The deputy clerk then entered into and reviewed the objections. I did provide her counsel in terms of appropriate responses. She ultimately issued a decision where she found that there was 4 petitions submitted on behalf of the incumbents. 2 of those petitions were executed entirely appropriately. They had the correct number of signatures. They were executed in terms of the right notarizations, the right oaths. Everything was appropriate. Those petitions had more than enough signatures to qualify for the candidates to be placed on the ballot. The other petition that was circulated by Ms. Blygen, if that was not considered, that did not impact on the fact that the incumbent candidates had enough signatures on their petitions. The other petition that was circulated by Ms. Lindsay Harvey, although there was a notary by that, I can tell you it's generally standard practice for a township clerk to notarize something. She was not in any way at that point acting on behalf of an official capacity or doing anything contrary to her duties. However, even if you ignored that petition, again, the two original petitions that were filed and were appropriately executed and delivered were enough that the deputy clerk found and basically went and said that Mr. Brantley's objections do not result in the disqualification of Ms. McIntosh, Ms. Whitfield, or Ms. Worthy as candidates for Willingboro Township Council from the primary election ballot. That opinion was given to Mr. Brantley as well as sent to the Burlington County Clerk, who also keeps track and ultimately, I believe, did a drawing as to where the candidates would fall. And at this point in time, there's no basis in terms of questioning the legitimacy of the petitions of Ms. McIntosh, Ms. Whitfield, or Ms. Worthy. So that's all I'm going to say in regard to that.
Miss Lindsay Harvey, also Miss Mallory, and a couple of others, the homelessness issue. There are plenty of social services in the Burlington County area. Ms. Holly did provide some information called the Housing Hub. The Housing Hub is monitored, but the county does offer some assistance for the homeless people. There is I want to say a door hanger going around now that is giving a nice detailed list of information for residents to actually, if you do see homeless, they actually give them some information also. But we are addressing it. We don't have a solution for homelessness. We have a large population of homelessness around the library. And there are some social services and some help at the library, if I'm correct. Yeah, okay. Mr. Harris, I don't know, we did have some conversation with people that are willing to help out, residents who are willing to help out. I really can't remember the organization, if anyone can help me out. The which one? Yeah, the Beloved Project is one of the residents trying to help out our homeless population. And we are trying to partner with her to, at least address some of the issues concerning that. Then we have also the turf field, Ms. Mack for the turf field. Ms. Blygen, could you make a copy of that and circulate to all of council? I just want us to make sure we consider any safety hazards as we go forward. We did invest in doing a turf field or field for JFK, but I do want to make sure we all look at that and make sure we consider any safety hazards that may be an issue with that. Ms. Holly, the trash. Mr. Harris, can you just go over that again? The trash, we have our contract is over next year.
That is correct. The first contract expires next year, but then we have two renewal options. So we can evaluate that at that time or prior to that time. And the council will make a determination as to how we're going to move forward. I will tell you that trash contracts statewide are exorbitant. And this is something that a lot of us administrators are touching on it and communicating on. Most municipalities, north and south, are getting one bidder, and those bids are coming in 20, 30, 40% of their previous contracts. So it's there is no guarantee that when we go out to bid that we are going to find a new bidder or a lower bidder. But for right now, at least we are locked into our contract for one renewal and then another renewal option at much lower increase rates. So, we have a lot of things to discuss between now and then. I will say, yes, Republic has had a short-term temporary issue. However, but their performance over the last couple of months has really been markedly improved. So, we're not going to ignore the deficiency, but I don't think that it is at the level that it was a year ago at this time.
Okay, thank you. I also want to address a couple of residents brought up Code of Inspection group and what the protocol is and how can we address some of the stuff that we see around Willingboro, especially some, on the main highways, the backyard, making sure that, we're diligent in correcting any violation.
Well, code enforcement has stepped up a lot of their enforcement in the community as well as the police department. The number of violations that have been coming through our code enforcement office have substantially increased. One of the things that people need to consider is that, once again, this is a process. Code enforcement issues a violation. Residents have a term or a period of time to abate their violations. Code enforcement will go back and re-inspect, and then they will issue a summons if a summons is appropriate. Then that matter turns into a court matter. And once it turns into a court matter, it is now out of code enforcement's hands. It is in the hands of the court. And the judge can either enforce something or they can dismiss it. And I will tell you, the courts are being very lenient about code problems, and it is taking a very long time to get through the court process. But I will say that our complement of code enforcement officers has increased. We are at full. We just hired 2 more additional code enforcement officers. They are out on a daily basis, patrolling the town and catching as many violations as they can. But we do now have the capacity and the staff to be doing inspections on the weekends. I understand that here in Willingboro, you have a lot of people who are weekend hit and run. If you need a roof, do it on a Saturday and before the code enforcement can catch it. But now we will have enforcement officers out and about in Willingboro on the weekends. I am not going to tell you that they're going to catch every violation all of the time. But once again, you as the residents have to help us in this process. We have the Willingboro Connect app. Let us know if there's something that you see, let us know. And I assure you that we'll address it.
Thank you very much. And we'll circle back to group home. One of the questions, we did speak about it already, but one of the questions, or who do the group homes house? What was brought to our attention a couple of weeks ago or last month, it's not so much as to try to discriminate against group homes. However, the concern was that there was an excessive amount in a small area of Willingboro. And so we did have Mr. Crook just investigate on what we can do and how we can kind of see what's going on. The group homes, they range from just the different disabilities. Some of it is mental illness. So that was the concern of some families, young families moving in, that they didn't feel safe. And they didn't have, their family did not feel safe in the area. I don't know I don't have a list of the group homes or the residents in the group homes. I don't really know exactly who's in the area. Do you have that information? We don't have that information.
And as I said before, Madam Mayor, the problem is that the way the law treats these homes is they're just like anybody else's residence. And just like, the township can't necessarily require people to say everybody and name everybody that's staying in their residence or what their physical or medical or mental history is. With these individuals, you can't, even though we know they're group homes, we know they're limited to people with disabilities of different levels, but you can't get into preparing lists and requiring names of people, individuals, numbers of people, what their conditions are. That would violate the law. So we just, all we can do is treat them like a regular residence and hold them to those standards just as any other resident in Willingboro would have to comply with.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
And also, Ms. Mathis, the council meetings are just one avenue by which you can state, what you need to state for public comment. But you also have access to all council members, myself, all council members, the township manager. Our numbers and website, our numbers, emails are on the website. So we're all accessible to any questions or concerns you may have. That goes to every resident. Council that's the beauty of local politics. We are here, we live in the community. So we are available and accessible. And then lastly, I think Ms. Williams had some concerns over the street naming. And just for clarification, the street naming is only honorary, so the legal street name would not change. It would remain the same street name. It would just have a sign on the top of as an honorary street name. So is there anything that I missed? I think I got everything. Okay. Is there anything any council member wanted to add? Okay, thank you. Moving on to council comments. Any council have any comment for tonight?
Absolutely. As usual, just want to thank the residents for tuning in, for the residents coming out. Thank Ms. Reva Foster for all the hard work she does over at the Reva Foster Center. You're always out there hustling, looking for those dollars, and we appreciate that. Thank you. Mr. Tunstall, thank you for the presentation. I know we've been working on this software, this technology for some time, so I'm glad to see it has wheels on it. Shout out to James and to Sean for the hard work they do. As I heard this evening, what it took to allow this event to take place. And finally, but not last, gotta say congratulations on retirement to my friend. And it's an honor to be able to call you friend. We didn't always agree, Rich, but one thing, you were committed to this township. You worked your ass off to make sure this township, was as clean and as to the best of your ability when you were here. And I've seen that firsthand. So it's just been a pleasure to work with you, to watch you for the last 14 years. Congratulations on retirement. Now y'all can clap, it's okay.
Any other council member for council comments? Okay. Oh, Dr. Worthy?
Good evening, residents. Thank you for coming out to participate or join online. I appreciate the work that was done for the Performing Arts Center to be able to present to the residents what the Performing Arts Center can be, and look forward to seeing more progress done in each phase so that we have our 510-seat Performing Arts Center to be able to host more events and increase resident experiences here in Willingboro. Congratulations to Mr. Brantley and to Mr. Bolden for announcing their candidacy for Township Council. I'm excited to hear residents who are interested in leading and serving in the community and coming alongside to do the work. And I hope that the residents get an opportunity to hear what they're really about and to continue to advocate for Willingboro, for the change that we want to see, to be one Willingboro, for us to all move forward together. It's wonderful to see other people inspired by the work that they've seen, to be able to put their name into the hat and say they want to be part of the change and they want to do the hard work. So congratulations, gentlemen, for putting your names in the hat.
Thank you, Dr. Worthy. Councilwoman Brown?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I too want to congratulate Mr. Vogel for his time and service here. And I'm going to hand Councilman Anderson some soap for his mouth, potty mouth. But you did work your tail off, and thank you for being committed to working here in this community, this lovely community. I do also want to thank everyone that was involved in putting together the presentation for presenting the performing arts that is soon to come. You did an amazing job. It was definitely well put together. So thank you, everyone that worked on that project. I also want to remind everyone that in addition to cleaning up Willingboro, there is a little bit of competition. I know it's the same time, but I am still hosting Autism in My Shoes Symposium. It will be right here in this room, and it does begin at 11. So I do anticipate to have quite a few, I'm not sure how many residents are coming out, but I do have quite a few people in our community, not just only in Willingboro, but Burlington in general, as far as resources for parents and residents of communities that are seeking us information or assistance in dealing with or a person that they may know that has autism or on the spectrum. Also, there'll be some discussion on what does it really mean? What is autism? So come out, there'll be some food as well. And that was pretty much it. And I just want to say good evening to everyone, and also congratulations to the candidates that have put their hat in. Mr. Lionel Borden, who I understand is on column number 1, and Mr. Kim Brantley. Thank you for your service for our country, and thank you for putting your hat in this race. And I look forward to hearing more from both of you. But with that, good evening, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perone.
Good evening, everyone. Just to echo some of the comments that have already been made, it is a busy weekend in Willingboro. So I look forward to seeing everyone out and about and around this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. So we have lots of things going on. Also, I want to remind the community that applications for the Youth Police and Fire Academy are open. Those applications close on June 17th. So please encourage the youth to apply and to learn a little bit more about those fields. Even if they're not interested in going into those fields, it's good to learn about the services, how those services are administered, and to get to know their local service people. Also, I want to say thank you to Ms. Riva for your continued work in finding opportunities to benefit and move Willingboro forward. That is such an incredible program that is not going to be a cost to the township. So I appreciate your diligence and commitment to Willingboro for that. Thank you to Mr. Vogel for your 20 plus years of work here in Willingboro. You've held a number of roles here, and I know the community will miss you being here. Thank you for your continued or long time service, and I hope that you enjoy your retirement immensely. I hope to join you one day. I don't know, that's not looking great. I also want to thank Mr. Harris for you and your administration's work to present us with another flat budget. And although we have been having some issues with our trash service, that has not been, due to our appropriation. It has been due to the service that is provided to the company. I do want to say it is almost unheard of that you see an increase in services and a budget remain flat for multiple years. And in 2021, we had a flat budget from 2020. 2022, we saw a slight decrease, and then we're at another flat budget here in 2023. So thank you for your work and continuing to elevate the experiences of the Willingboro residents, provide them with better service, and also not hit them too hard in the pocket or at all in the pocket. So I appreciate that. Also, I want to remind the community to register for the app. There are countless, not countless, but there are notifications that go out that keep you in the know. You can also access the calendar, report any issues, potholes, things of that nature. So we want to continue to encourage residents to be engaged as we work together to better the Willingboro community. And those are all my comments for this evening.
First, I'd like to thank the deputy mayor for taking all of my points. That's all right. No, but first I do want to say congratulations to Mr. Bevogel. 20 years is a long time for here. And you're going to be missed. It's going to be weird not seeing you in these meetings. Hopefully you'll just join us on Zoom once in a while. You've been here way before I've gotten council. And now that I'm on council, we do realize your contributions, and we can realize some of the stuff that you've done, and you've done well. So we do appreciate that. Just want to take the time to reiterate that. As I said, Deputy Mayor pretty much said all my points. Please get on the Willingboro Connect. There is a lot of information on there, and it keeps you up to date on a daily basis. So I think it's a great addition to our communication. And then I just really want to highlight, our performing arts. I hope everybody got a chance to look at it. I'm excited that we're going to play the video for the rest of the residents that were not here. But performing arts are a vital part of our community, and they bring people together. They foster creativity and provide an outlet for self-expression. This center will provide a platform for local artists to showcase their talents and also will also bring in performers from other places. So Willingboro is a place that we live and work, but it's also a place to play. So the performing arts here will be a symbol of the township's commitment to creativity and performing arts. So I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us tonight, for those in person and online. Thank you. Have a great night.
The motion to adjourn, please.
Second. Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor. All in favor, say aye. Any nay? Thank you. Have a good night.
This adjourn is 9:21.